Take two. The Tanner Family Reunion, also known as the Full House ALF crossover. Here's a little summary of what's happened to the characters since. Lily Tanner is the cousin of Danny Tanner. If you can understand that, then you can understand it. This was discovered a few years ago when DJ was helping her daughter Alexis with the family tree project for school. The family genealogy was written in 2006 by Stephanie Tanner, who writes romance under the name Judy Tanner. DJ decided to begin planning a Tanner reunion, inviting the other Tanners that have been discovered up to San Francisco for a gathering. They weren't expecting the arrival of a furry little pussycat eater. Steve, I told you the reason was this weekend, and now the reunion, reunion, was this weekend, and now you tell me you want Alexis to come and stay with you? DJ was screaming into the phone at her ex-husband. I'm so sorry, you were so unplanned. Oh, you mean just like Daniel Jesse was? Oh no, he did not go there. Daniel Jesse was their now 18-year-old son. How convenient it was that Steve, who had been a last-minute prom date for DJ, forgot to carry some protection with him that night. When Danny found out that DJ had gotten pregnant, DJ and Steve drove out to Lake Tahoe and got a quickie marriage. Even then, the marriage was very problematic. After Danielle was born, Steve decided to transfer schools and play his remaining college football years at Stanford. He never did make it professionally. Not one team was interested. Not even the 49ers or the Raiders. Not having a career for him to fall back on, DJ was forced to drop out of Stanford herself and work at the Smash Club full-time as a shop girl. Eventually weaving her way back into school, attending community college, and earning a business degree. She is now a full owner of the renamed Smash Cafe, which is a totally hip Wi-Fi-enabled coffee shop. She and Steve divorced shortly after DJ became pregnant with their daughter. Steve then moved to Colorado, where he coaches youth football outside of Denver. He has since remarried with 2 sons and 3 stepsons. Meanwhile, Stephanie Tanner lives in Modesto, and she's an English teacher and romance novelist. She's not married, but she does have an on-again, off-again boyfriend in the form of the principal of her school. His name is Brendan. Very attractive. She also did time in rehab in 2005 for a cocaine, heroin, and meth addiction. Triple lethal. But was able to overcome it thanks to Brendan. Brendan is divorced and has a 24-year-old son named Jacob. Michelle Tanner, the tangled web that is the youngest of the 3 Tanner girls. She was diagnosed with bipolar in 2001, sometime after 9/11. She and her first real boyfriend, Aaron, were engaged for 2 years during their college time. But when Michelle's bipolar meds were giving her anxiety, they broke up pretty hard. She has attempted suicide at least twice, and still lives at home with DJ, her kids, and Danny. After Michelle broke off the engagement, Aaron moved to Orange County and settled down with a new girlfriend who gave birth to their son in 2012. Jesse Katsopoulos and his wife Becky moved out of the Tanner house in 2000, after Jesse himself finished college. In addition to Nikki and Alex, who are now in college themselves, Jesse and Rebecca have added to their own full house. Tanner, born in 1996, and daughter Pamela, born in 1999. Becky and Danny remained on Wake Up San Francisco until new producers decided that they were too old and canceled them in 2004. They both remained with the TV station. Rebecca Donaldson, or Becky Katsopoulos, is an anchor for the midday news, and Danny Tanner covers the 49ers year-round and travels frequently. Joey Gladstone felt the house was getting too big for him to stick around, and moved into his own apartment in 1997. As you can tell, he and Roxy did break up. It didn't work. They're still friends, and they still tour on the comedy circuit, but that's a whole other story. He still performs stand-up on occasion and appeared in several failed sitcom and dramatic television pilots. Gladstone did, however, get married. Kimmy Gibbler. Last we heard from her, she supposedly had married that goofball kid, Dwayne, Dwight, Dweeby, whatever. Let's just call him whatever, because that's who he was. That's all he said. So, unfortunately, they got divorced, supposedly. It was more like annulled because the marriage actually really wasn't legal. And yeah. And that happened in the summer of 1995. Kimmy herself then enrolled in community college, then moved to Southern California for a while. It was there in 2002 she ran into, you guessed it, Joey Gladstone. Yeah, you read that correct. They got married. How did that happen? She was in town and dropped in on the set of one of his failed TV pilots. Something happened. Maybe it was the Los Angeles Sun or something. They found that all along they were meant for each other. Of course, back when they lived in San Francisco, her being a minor, nothing could happen legally. As for the other Tanners, after the alien task force had taken down foray, the Tanners were shipped off to Iceland for a while. They escaped only after Lynn felt that she needed to go back to America and study there because Iceland just wasn't cutting it right for her. And also, yeah, Willie was caught smoking crack with some Icelandic teenagers. Which, we don't want to get into that. Willie and Kate, however, are still happily married and have since retired to Arizona after the baby, Eric, graduated from high school. Baby Eric is all grown up and in graduate school at the University of Arizona. Wow. I guess he wanted to be closer to the parents. He and his college buddies share a house off campus, which isn't too surprising. He has a girlfriend of 2.5 years, and because of her Christian upbringing, they don't live together and do not plan on living together or doing anything romantic until they're married. That's a far cry from when he was in high school, but that's another story. All but one member of the Tanners remembers the pussy-eating furball known as ALF, or Gordon Shumway, or whatever. and that would be Brian. Almost all of Brian's films have been based on the time that Alf had lived with them. Alf had become Brian's best friend in those 4 years, and the experience of losing his best friend left him in a state of shock, and thus began a career of writing and directing films about friendship, loss, and maybe a little alien involvement as well. One of these films, Melmac and Glory, was viewed at a very small film festival outside of Nova Scotia in 2009. How ironic it was that a certain little furball had seen the film and has since spent the last 4 years searching for the Earth family that he had come to know and love, hoping for a second chance at life. So, that's how it goes so far. Once I have chapter 2 printed out and totally done up, then that'll be it. So I kind of hope you enjoyed this summary of my latest fan fiction, which I completely like. That's great. If not, whatever. So that's going to be it for me. I will be back when I can. I'm not going to do one every day now, because it's just completely ridiculous. But I hope you enjoyed it. Comment, view, nobody's watching my videos.